Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. Today we are going to do something different. It was recommended that I should possibly use my medical experience and react to stuff and put my medical knowledge into the song. Uh, so I couldn't think of a better way to start out with doing than Alice in Chains Nutshell. This song is probably one of the well, actually, I think it was ranked one of the most depressing songs of the 1990s. Of course, I personally like the unplugged version better. I've heard the song a million times, but you know what? As a person who has 20 years in the medical field with specialties in cardiology, pulmonology, and psychiatry, Alice in Chains is probably the best group to listen to. You can actually analyze the music and diagnose the singer or whoever they're talking about with their lyrics. So we're going to do that today with Alice in Chains Nutshell, the unplugged version. Like I said, I've heard this song probably a million times, but I've never really analyzed the lyrics to it. So at least in a medical standpoint. So we're going to do that today. What the heck? Let's try it. Let's have some fun. Well, I don't know if this ain't going to be fun, but it's going to be kind of sad because this is a sad song. Yeah, let's check this out. Hey, before we do, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you leave comments so that way I can, that's how I know what to check out. And with that being said, let's get right to this one. Nutshell by Alice in Chains. Okay, here we go. Oh, hold up. It's a Vivo. Hopefully Vivo don't block it. Vivo's good at blocking music. The Cantrell. Let me put a little volume on there. Put a little volume on here. God, he looks so young. Late, great Lane Staley. Before we get the singing going here. So, real quick, I did read where right before he came on stage, he did take a hit of Speedball before he came out, which is cocaine and heroin mixed. I don't know if he shot up, if he was shooting up, or if he was smoking or snoring. I don't know how he was doing it, but I mean, there's some of the videos within this unplugged set. I mean, you can look at him and tell how blitzed he was in it. And it's such a shame. Such a shame. He was such a powerful singer. Such a powerful singer. Vocals were just insane. How he could hold his notes. It's insane. All right, let's get right to it. Let's go right into it. Let's get into it. We'll talk some more. Chase best friend alive. Face the path of time, and yet I fight this battle all alone. So, from the psych standpoint right here, yet I fight this battle all alone. I mean, this is more, I guess this could go either way. It could either be for depression or drug use, which I believe we all know he was a drug user, but I can't remember if he was if he suffered from depression as well. That's what I mean. His music that he sang, a lot of the songs that Alice in Chains did were based on drug use and basically more or less Lane Staley's drug use, and it comes through in his music. I personally always felt that Lane Staley's music and Alice in Chains was basically a cry for help. I don't I mean they don't back then they didn't have as much in the way of help, besides just talking. Now we have all the meds out there to help, the methadones. I mean, methadone's a nasty, or soma, all these nasty drugs that are, I mean, they're honestly soma and methadone. They're all just as bad as heroin, honestly. But um, it's like I like pick your poison. But it's such a shame, such a shame. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
No one to cry to, no place to go home.
Oh my God. Wow. I'm sorry. There's going to be a ton of cuts in this one, y'all. If y'all don't like it, find another video to watch. But I'm going to cut a lot in this. That is just such an eerie the ooh. That's just so eerie. Yeah, it's such an eerie sound. Especially being that what I know now. I mean, back when I listened to the song when I was a kid, it was nothing. It just kept going. To me it was, just talking about life in general. But now as an adult listening to it, you can see, especially now that I'm been in the medical field for almost 20 years now, especially with psych background. It's like a lot of these songs are cries for help. I mean, this might be a tearjerker. I've never listened to this song and analyzed it this way. That hits you in the soul right there. With that. Dude, there's so much in this song. There's only 2 verses to this song, but it's probably one of the most powerful songs of this whole generation right here. 2 verses, probably less than 2 minutes of singing in this whole song, and it says so much. If I can't be my own, I'd be better off dead. But my question is, well, first of all, he could have been helped. He could have been saved. I know this was the first concert that they had done in, I think it's 2 or 3 years. And I believe this was the last time they ever saw each other as well, because I think this was 1996 or 7. And he died in 2001. Actually, they found him dead the same day they found Kurt Cobain died on, which is kind of crazy. To think about it that way. But it's just that last verse right there, I'd be better off dead. I mean, this song is such a cry for help. And, like I said, back then, they had things you could do for you back then, but it's not like it is now. Back then, it was pretty much just put you in an institution and hope and force you to withdraw instead of, helping you, instead of easing you down with the medications. And back then it was just a nightmare to try to wean off of medication or wean off of drugs than it is now. I mean, it's still horrible now. Don't get me wrong. It's still horrible now, but back then it was a lot worse. And it's so sad to hear this because of how we all know the road he went down. And then there's a picture out there of Lane Staley that I guess the right before he died. I guess it was like a couple months before they found his body in his apartment, and because I think they said he was there for like 2 weeks before they even found him. They couldn't even recognize him. They had to do it through dental records. But yeah, let's finish the song. We'll talk a little bit more after this. Yeah, this was such a powerful song. It's so sad. I've never really I've heard the song a million times, but never really analyzed it from a medical standpoint, and in more in the psych aspect of the whole entire music and the whole song. My question is, I mean, I don't know. I was not, I mean, I was live back then, but I mean, I don't know if did the band even try to help him? I mean, you don't hear about that stuff. I mean, I would imagine. I mean, because bands are usually close. I mean, it's not like y'all just get together for, a couple albums and you never see each other until you're ready to do a concert or you do something. So I'm sure they're, friends. Like, did the band try to help him? Like I said, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did. I just can't imagine them not. Um, but the pain in this song, you can hear the pain in his voice. All his songs. I mean, I know the one song. I mean, I can't talk about Rooster because Rooster was about I guess it was it Cantrell's father who was in Vietnam, I think it was. But Down in a Hole, um, Them Bones, uh, Heaven Beside You. All these songs are so heavy, and I mean, we all can speculate on what they are about back and forth, but in my mind, most of these songs are about his drug use and his personal life. And to actually break this song down, really, it really hits you in your soul of how deep this really is and how sad it really was for him. I mean, because like I said, if you watch, I think it was if you watch the whole entire Unplugged, like when they did Sludge Factory, I think they had to do it like 5 or 6 times because he kept forgetting the lyrics to it because he's so blitzed. And when he finally takes his glasses off, he can barely hold his eyes open. When he does open his eyes, you can see his eyes just rolled back in his head while he's singing. I mean, it's so sad to see. Um, it was like this. I just like I said, it's a hard song to listen to when you listen to it in this way. Like I said before, I've always just listened to the song. It's just an alternative song. It talks about your feelings, whatever, blah blah blah. No, this is such a heavy song to listen to, and to me, this song was a cry for help. And honestly, I kind of wonder if that's why they put this in as the first song, because right around this time right here is when he really started getting heavy into the heroin use and speedball, which is coke and heroin, if y'all don't know. At this time, I mean, he wasn't doing like, the pills. I mean, I'm sure he probably did, but not as much. But I mean, he was doing the hard stuff. He was doing the hard medication, hard drugs. And it's so sad to see it but I can tell you one thing right now, up in heaven, they are having one hell of a concert. I mean, because we've lost so many singers to drugs and because of drug use. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. Kurt Cobain, if he wasn't on the heroin and the stuff he was on, he would still be alive too. The heroin amplified his depression that he had. But man, this was such a heavy song. Such a heavy song. And And people, a little bit off the subject, but people talk about heavy metal. To me, this is heavy metal because heavy metal, the metal is the music's version, the guitars, the electric guitars, but the heaviest message. And this song right here is probably the heaviest of all of them, and it's insane. Anyways, I'm going on and on and on, but I could probably go on about this for hours. It's Christmas season. It's time to be happy and joyful. Whether you celebrate Christmas or not, it's a good time to, reconnect with your loved ones and, tell people how much you love them. Because like we know with Lane Staley, you're not promised tomorrow. None of us are. And Christmas season, whether you celebrate Christmas or not, it's about family. It's about being with each other and being good to one another. And just, you know what, guys, be good to each other. Be good to each other. Use this holiday season to reflect on that. With that being said, I'll see you all on the next video. Please subscribe to the channel. Keep rocking.